Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a first impressions and demo of two new drugstore products from Neutrogena, and that is the Hydroboost Hydrating Tint with hyaluronic acid, as well as the Neutrogena Hydroboost Hydrating Concealer. So first off, let's start with the foundation, and it claims, or the skin tint, I'm sorry. It claims to moisturize and plump skin for 24 hours. I have mine in the shade Classic Ivory 10, which is the lightest shade in the range. I believe there were only 4 or 5, maybe 5, at the on the display at the CVS that I went to. But this is what the actual product looks like. It does come with a doe foot applicator. I put it on the back of my hand first before applying it to my face, as opposed to sticking this right on my skin. But as you can see, the foundation is quite warm toned, or the skin tint is quite warm toned. But in the package, it looks quite neutral. So that was quite deceiving. The foundation itself I picked up for $16.99. The concealer was $14.99. But if you purchased $30 worth of Neutrogena products, you got $10 back in extra bucks from CVS. So luckily that's what I did. And I also had coupons and extra bucks and those sorts of things to use when I picked these up. So I got them for a really good deal. This is the concealer, and that is the Hydroboost Hydrating Concealer with hyaluronic acid in the shade Fair 10. Again, the lightest shade in the range, but as you can see, it is quite dark and also quite warm toned. It does have this hydrating core, if you see in the middle, and claims to be hydrating all day. But again, it's slightly too dark. Actually, both products ended up being too dark on my skin. The foundation actually oxidized pretty heavily, as you'll see in the demo portion of this video. But if you guys would like to see how these two products apply and my final thoughts, please stay tuned. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. As you can see, I am barefaced. All I have on my face is my skincare, and it's been on for about an hour or so. So first, I'm going to pull my hair back. And I am going to be applying a primer, and today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. It's the one in the pink, oh boy, container. Oh, my hair is crazy today. Okay, so first again, we're applying primer. And I'm going to be applying this new Neutrogena Hydroboost Hydrating Tint. 2 ways. However, I am applying primer all over my face because I always use a primer. It may be different types of primer, but I always put one on my skin. Okay, sort of patting that in. And I think we are good. So again, we are going to be putting on the Neutrogena Hydroboost Hydrating Tint. It has hyaluronic acid in it and moisturizes and plumps skin for 24 hours. I figured this would be perfect for the cooler winter months that we are in, now that they are dry as well. And this is going to be the shade Classic Ivory 10. I'm hoping it's a good match. If I can open the container. Oh, the primer is showing up on the thing. It's getting a little slippery. Anyway, again, this is Classic 10 Ivory. Oh, okay. So this is, oh boy, this is how you apparently apply this foundation. And I'm actually just going to put it on the back of my hand as opposed to applying it directly to my skin. Oh boy. Well, actually, this way I could probably mix it quite easily with a white foundation mixer, should I need to, because this is a little bit yellow on my on the back of my hand. This is what the color looks like. So again, half of it is going to be with a beauty blender, which I am afraid might shear this out quite a lot because it's supposed to be sort of a hydrating foundation. And then we'll do the other half with the brush. Let's start with beauty blender on this side. Oh boy, this might be way too yellow for me. I'm hoping that I can at least use a nice light powder to, or a tone correcting powder even, to sort of get the yellowness to be a little bit more subdued. I'm actually going to use this mirror to see how we're doing. Okay, so I think that the beauty blender basically just took away all the product. So let's go ahead and put a little bit more on the back of my hand again. Oh my gosh, it's turning even darker on my skin. Oh, this is gonna be bad. All right, so now let's try with a brush on the other side of my face. And again, just dotting that on there. Oh, it's just oxidizing away. Oh man, okay. Let's hope that this does not oxidize too much more. Okay, now we're using my Real Techniques a buffing brush to buff it on the other side. Oh my gosh, it's just getting so dark on my skin right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, should have used a white foundation mixer, but again, first impressions, how was I to know? Okay, just blending that out. Now let's see how you can just tell the difference of my my neck to my face right now. It's quite yellow. This might have to come off immediately. Actually, I think it might be okay if I what am I doing? Brush on this side. I don't know that it applies any differently. It's not sinking into my pores or anything. Well, a little bit on the Beauty Blender side. Actually, on the brush side, too. It might apply better with the Beauty Blender, but again, it shears out the coverage. I'm going to go in with a little bit more. Ooh, let's just drop that mirror to see if I can build this up. It is very sheer. Oh my gosh, look at the back of my hand. Oh god, it's getting really yellow. It almost is turning orange on the back of my hand. So I'm afraid of what my face is going to look like. This might not make it to a check-in. This might just have to come off my face immediately. It's even getting really dark on my Beauty Blender. Oh boy. I'm going to put a little bit more on my cheek and on my forehead and also my chin on both sides, and then we will use the proper tools to finish blending in. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of get the rest off the back and then see how we're doing after this. I'm going to have to bring this down my neck because the color is just not the best match. Let's see if we can get past that. Okay. Beauty Blender side and brush side. Oh boy. Again, bring it down my neck. Okay, so first off, it's just not the right color match, number one. However, I am noticing it's not sinking into, no it is, it's sinking into my one fine line on my forehead a little bit. That's actually with the Beauty Blender side. And it's getting a little cakey in one little spot here. Let's see if I can blend that out. Okay, I kind of blended it out. It was just sort of caking up in one section. It didn't cake up or really attach itself to my little acne spots that I'm dealing with at the moment. I'm going to try and blend this out a little better because it's doing the same thing on the brush side, sort of like caking up on this one spot, of my face. But that sort of worked. It is also already sinking into my little smile lines that I have on the brush side, but not on the Beauty Blender side. All right, so now for the concealer. This is the matching concealer, the Neutrogena Hydroboost Hydrating Concealer. This is in the shade Fair 10, though let's see how true that rings and see how fair it actually is, since that foundation was really warm toned for my skin. Okay, come on, there we go. So this is what the actual concealer looks like. Oh yeah, it's gonna be super dark for a fair, but let's just go ahead and try it. I'm gonna try it under my eyes. I'm also going to try it on some spots I've got going on. So I'm gonna grab my mirror again. Whew. Oh boy. Okay. Well, it goes on really easy. It's not like a super cakey feel, though it is dark, unfortunately. Let's just put it on a couple acne scars and let's apply it to the spots as well. Yeah, this is also really, really warm toned. Oh boy, I should have known. Okay, Neutrogena doesn't really do fair tones all that well. I'm going to do Beauty Blender on one side. And then we'll do the brush on the other side, see how it blends out. Okay, so I'm going to blend it out with my finger. Not a ton of coverage, but I don't think it's sinking into my lines under my eyes. And again, you can still very clearly see the red marks from my acne spot. So let's, oh, this is also oxidizing. I'm not sure if the camera is picking that up, but let's go ahead and blend this out with the brush. And then let's blend out the concealer under my eyes with the brush as well. All right. So for the concealer, I think I prefer it with the Beauty Blender, but I do think it also shears out the coverage a little bit more. But I think it just applies better with the Beauty Blender, the concealer. The foundation, again, it shears it out, but does apply it nicer, and it's not sinking into my smile line on this side, but it is sinking into the smile line on this side, and this is the side that we used the brush, the foundation I'm referring to, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to put on the rest of my face, try to find a light enough powder to counteract the yellow tones that we are working with, and then I will be right back for a check-in to see how the rest of my makeup applied. Alright guys, so we are back. I put a little bit of makeup on my face, done the Perfect Brow Pencil, I believe, from Anastasia in soft brown in my brows, just to fill them in a little bit. A couple, let's see, a medium shade in the crease with a cream color on the lid and the brow bone. I topped it with the e.l.f. Tone Correcting Powder in Cool, which I think might have helped the color mishap a little bit. It has set down and everything. It's not... It kind of just feels like skin. I mean, it maybe has plumped up and, not plumped up, but smoothed things out a little bit. But again, I did put a primer on under it. After I've put, topped it with the powder and applied bronzer and highlight and whatnot, I'm not noticing the smile line on this side that, with the brush, Real Techniques brush, so much as I was before. And I definitely don't see anything on the Beauty Blender side either, smile line wise. It is emphasizing this fine wrinkle, fine line that I have, my expression line up here on my forehead, just a tad, and again, that was the Beauty Blender side. It is, the concealer actually is also emphasizing lines under my eyes. It doesn't look like it's sinking into fine lines under there, it just looks like they're emphasizing, or they are emphasized, if that makes any sense. The color is still definitely too warm toned and too light. I try to blend it down my neck, the tone correcting powder as well. It's actually, now that I am noticing, it looks like it might be, now that I'm talking, it might be sinking into that one fine line on my one smile line on the brush side. The concealer did not conceal redness on these bumps whatsoever. I also don't think it concealed very much under my eyes. So the concealer is more, I think, just sort of a hydrating, I wouldn't say a hydrating base. I'm not sure how this would layer under other concealers, but if you don't have a ton of imperfections, or if you don't have a ton of darkness under eyes, this might actually be really perfect for you. Though for my fair skin, it is too dark. I am going to do some running around today. I am going to keep this face on, and I will definitely try to check back in at the end of the day to let you know my final thoughts. Alright, so we are back, and the foundation and concealer have been on for a couple hours now. I've just been out and about running around, and I thought I'd share with you guys my final thoughts on my first impression. So first off, the color match is just terrible on both the concealer and the foundation. I will say, using that tone correcting powder, and in this lighting it looks like it matches my skin perfectly. Excuse me. But the first thing I did when I got into my car was look in my mirror, and you could very easily tell that my face was quite yellow compared to my neck and the rest of my body. But the tone correcting powder definitely helped. That product from e.l.f. that I topped it with. So that is for the foundation. The concealer I don't like. Number one, it's very sheer coverage and didn't really do much to conceal my under eye area, nor did it conceal the redness of my spots that I'm dealing with at the moment. And also, it really emphasized the fine lines under my eyes. But the product didn't sink into it. It just sort of emphasized them. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that is how I feel. However, I will say, if the color of this product was not so off, I might actually continue to use it because it really gives a nice, even look to my skin. On camera, it looks really beautiful. It looks really stunning. It did sink into this one fine line on my forehead, one of my expression lines, and just kind of sat there even when I tried to sort of pat it out. But the rest of my skin on camera looks really, really pretty, actually. But if you look closer up on in an actual mirror, there's just a few more flaws that I noticed personally. So around my nose, the product has caked up, and I'm not sure if that's something you can be able to see, but the product sort of gone cakey, I guess, or kind of sunk into my nose creases. So that's one thing I definitely noticed. And again, that could be the powder. I'm not positive, but that's a pretty finely milled powder. I've never had that problem with it before. It also sort of caked up on my chin a little bit, but that might be a skincare product that I use that I haven't used in quite a while, but I did use it today just on my chin, so that might be why that's reacting strangely to it. And it did sink into my pores, even with my pore filling primer that I use quite frequently and love. So a little bit of my pores just around my nose area they've sunk into, but on my cheeks and the rest of my forehead besides my line, it looks very natural. It doesn't cling to dry patches, which is really nice as it is a hydrating product, and my skin does just feel like skin, but hydrated skin. So that part I really, really do enjoy about this product, but the color match just isn't for me, so unfortunately I'm not going to be able to use it, though I think that since it does oxidize a bit, this might be perfect for my mom. So she'll be getting to test out these products shortly. Besides that, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know down below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.